Hello, and welcome to the Resort Free webinar. My name is Bonnie Jackson, and I would like to thank you for coming on time and spending a few minutes to learn more about our service and what we can do for you. I promise that this webinar will be quick, straight to the point, and if you ever have any questions, feel free to click on chat service down below. That's where you can talk to an advisor right away. You're probably asking these 3 questions right now. What can you do for me? How much will I get paid? How long will this webinar last? Resort Free will not sell your timeshare. We will not post your resort on a website. We're not going to pretend that we can find you a buyer. That's because the answer to your next question is no one is willing to pay for your timeshare. To answer the last question, I promise you that it will not take long. Now, why will anyone not pay for your timeshare? There are plenty of reasons, but to explain in more detail, I'd like to show you a few clips of Dave Ramsey in a TV special by ABC News.
Well, for many people, a timeshare may seem like the perfect option, having a vacation home available only when you really want it and not having the burden of worrying about it the rest of the year. But our next guest says that timeshares may not be all they're cracked up to be. We are happy to be joined by one of our favorite Money Matters guests, Dave Ramsey, radio host of the Dave Ramsey Show. He joins us now from Tennessee. Dave, thanks for being here today.
Well, thanks. It's good to be with you.
Now, I know so many people who have either had timeshares or do have timeshares, my grandmother being one of them as well, and it seems like they don't always use it. Do you think that timeshares are a good investment or a bad investment?
I think they're a crummy investment, and I recommend to my listeners never to buy a timeshare. And the reason is real simple. It's not an investment. An investment gives the idea that you could actually sell it. And you can't give the stupid things away once you own one of them. They're absolutely horrible. All you're doing is prepaying your hotel bill for the next 20 years right now in advance. And those of us that know anything about money know you'd be better off to put that money in an investment, and the investment would produce enough to pay your hotel bill.
Yeah, and it certainly does lock you in, as my grandmother found out. Now, is this true for everyone, do you think, or do you think that some people may love a timeshare and that might be the way to go for them?
Well, I think they like the use of the condo, and they like having a place that they can go to. This is the family thing. We'd go to this location every summer, and they like that. But families have done that for years simply by renting the lake house or renting the beach condo, and that can continue to be. But the problem is you are locked in, and some of the timeshare people give you the ability to trade back and forth, but even then they're telling you where you can stay after you prepaid your hotel, and you are just stuck in these things. You cannot get rid of them. Of the people that call the Dave Ramsey Show, I would say we have a 98% dissatisfaction with them, and they can't get rid of them. They paid $14,000, $15,000, $20,000. They're paying payments on them, and it's a mess in their lives.
Why do you think it's so difficult to get rid of these things, and how do you go about it? I mean, is there any way to sell them?
Well, there's no market for them. Nobody wants them. Do not go to one of the list services where you pay $200 or $300 or $500 up front to just get your name on a list, because that's all.
Obviously, it is a financial burden, and people do not want to pay $500, $600, or $1,000 just to keep a timeshare. It simply does not make sense. Add the fact that your timeshare will be inherited by your children after you pass away. It's no surprise that 43,000 people Google search, "How do I get rid of timeshare?" every single month. That means that people just like you are also trying to get out, but they do not have any idea what to do. That's a very scary situation to be in. That's because you're locked in for life.
One of the big selling points is that not only do you have this investment for the rest of your life, but you can pass it on to your heirs. The double-edged sword is, what if your heirs don't want it?
A lot of these are deeded properties. It's just like buying a house. So when you get this deed, it goes into your family. If you were to pass away and your children were to inherit your estate, that is part of your estate.
But the other thing is, you've got to know that when you buy this, you are buying it forever.
That's exactly right.
And you don't know what the fees are going to be 10 years from the time of purchase.
That's exactly right.
You can search eBay, and you can find that people are trying to sell their timeshares for 10 cents and still no buyers. These people are waiting months for a buyer, and they're doing nothing but wasting time and money because they're still paying fees. This is why we're not here to try to convince you that we can find you a buyer. What we can do is help you transfer it to a licensed, bonded, and insured disposal company. Our disposal company has helped over 3,000 families. We have yet to encounter a timeshare owner that was not able to get their timeshare transferred. We have 100% satisfaction guarantee, and when the transfer is over, you won't be leaving empty-handed. Our goal is to make sure that you leave happy, and that's why after the transfer, we will show you how to stay in beautiful resorts without having to own a timeshare. No contracts, no maintenance fees, no annual limits, no reservation fees, and best of all, no perpetuity clause. You'll be able to use this to vacation the rest of your life. You'll get more benefits than your timeshare without the fees. Okay, this sounds good, but how much is it going to cost me? Every transfer fee will differ, but we have worked really hard to guarantee that you can afford it. We want to make this process as easy as possible for you. Within 24 hours, a consumer advisor will give you a call, and you'll be able to ask any questions that you may have. If you simply cannot wait and you want to get rid of your timeshare right now, you can either go to the chat box down below to talk to an advisor, call us directly at 1-800-780-1943 extension 1, or you can click the link down below to access our application form and get started right away. I want to thank you for your time, and hopefully you got a better understanding of your current situation. When it comes to getting rid of your timeshare, you have your reasons, and we have the answers. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.